The film begins in a dimly lit substation, where a boy named Mitaya stands frozen in fear. He feels as though he has been trapped inside a maze disguised as a railway station. No matter how many times he tries, every time he passes through exit number 8, he somehow ends up back in the same place. The corridors twist endlessly, and nothing leads him out. Adding to his terror, he repeatedly sees a man in a suit silently walking by. The man never speaks, never acknowledges him, just passes again and again like part of a sinister routine. Mitaya, though trembling, once thinks of asking him for directions, but before he can, he turns and the man is right there behind him, smiling strangely, as if he can hear Mitaya's thoughts. Horrified, Mitaya bolts forward instead of speaking. Soon, his eyes fall on a signboard. It reads, Exit 0, but strangely, the board above it says Exit 8. The contradiction unsettles him deeply. He searches relentlessly for a way out, once, twice, dozens of times. Every supposed door is fake, more like a showpiece than an exit. Desperation makes him try the intercoms, but none work. His phone shows no signal. Exhausted, Mitaya slumps down and notices a picture on the wall, endlessly circling this maze with no escape. While he stares, blood suddenly begins dripping from the exit 8 board above, splattering across his face. Panicked, Mitaya rushes backwards instead of forward, and in that instant he notices something shocking. The board that earlier showed exit 0 now reads exit 1. For the first time, the board also displays cryptic hints. If anything seems strange or abnormal, he must immediately run back. If nothing unusual is found, he must continue moving toward exit 8. To survive, he had to follow the rules carefully. One mistake would reset everything. Encouraged, Mitaya pulls out his phone. He begins photographing every corridor, every detail, even the silent man beneath exit 8, so he can later spot changes. Moving forward again, he sees nothing unusual. When he reaches the board, it now shows exit 1. He has cleared the first level. Cautiously, he presses on. But as he prepares to use his phone again, every photo suddenly turns blurred, leaving nothing visible. His tool is gone. Now he must rely only on his eyes and memory. At that moment, he notices something chilling. The suited man, who always walks silently beneath exit 8, is standing still for the first time. That is the change. Mitaya immediately turns back and runs. The man begins pursuing him, though not walking in any normal way. Each time Mitaya glances back, the man is suddenly right behind him. Terrified, Mitaya falls. When he looks up, the board reads exit 2. The man is gone. He has cleared the second level. Confidence builds. Mitaya pushes forward again. This time, he hears a child crying from inside the locker. Dread fills him as he opens it. What he sees is so horrifying it is not shown, but the terror drives him running backwards once again. The board changes to exit 3, another level complete. But the maze is not finished with him. As he moves ahead, he notices portraits on the walls. At first ordinary, they soon come alive, the eyes of the painted figures rolling toward him. The sight makes him sprint back in fear. The board updates to exit 4. He has now crossed half the game. Relief mixes with panic. One mistake would still reset everything. Then comes the cruelest test. As he walks again, his phone suddenly rings. To his shock, it is his girlfriend calling. It unsettles him deeply, for he knows no signal exists here, and days earlier they had ended their relationship. When he answers, she tells him she is pregnant, leaving the choice to him whether to accept the child and reunite or not. Memories flash in his mind. He recalls sitting on a train where a crying baby had been scolded by a man. He had wanted to defend the mother and child but lacked the courage. Now, could he take responsibility for his own unborn child? Confusion overwhelms him. He ends the call. And instantly, the board resets to exit 0. He has made a grave mistake. The call itself had been the anomaly. By failing to recognize it and run back, he lost everything. Crushed, Mitaya screams in despair. He had reached halfway, but all progress is gone. Still, he drags himself onward, though lifelessly. Nothing unusual appears now. Then, turning a corner, he sees a child. Hope sparks, and he runs back, but the board remains zero. The child is real. It becomes clear this child too is trapped here, just like Mitaya. Soon, Mitaya realizes the suited man was also not an illusion, but another prisoner endlessly circling the maze. The child and the man had once worked together as a team, desperately seeking escape. And within the maze is also a girl. Unlike the others, she makes no effort to flee. For her, the endless loop mirrors her reality outside, pushed daily on crowded trains, suffocated by work, crushed by life. But as she spoke, her voice began to change. First, it looped, repeating the same sentence again and again, until her tone grew heavy, distorting into the deep rumble of a man's voice. The suited man, watching her carefully, recognized the truth. This was no ordinary girl. This was an abnormality of the maze. Without hesitation, he grabbed the child's hand and sprinted toward the back exit. When they reached the board, the number had advanced to 6. They were getting closer to freedom. Together, they circled the labyrinth again, searching carefully for the next sign of change. The girl appeared once more, but this time, she simply passed by in silence. It was the child who noticed something odd. The door handles along the corridor were fixed at unnatural angles. Excitedly, he tried to point it out, but the man dismissed him, ignoring the clue and dragging him further ahead. That single mistake cost him dearly. The board reset to 0. Everything was lost. Crushed by failure, the man screamed in frustration. He was exhausted, but he had no choice but to try again. Taking the child's hand once more, he stepped back into the endless table. This time, something new appeared, a staircase leading upward. Overjoyed, the man believed he had finally found a way out, but the child begged him to stop. This is a game, the child insisted. The stairs are an abnormality. We must turn back. But the man ignored him. Driven by desperation, he climbed and instantly became trapped. His body froze, absorbed into the maze. The child, who had run toward the exit board, discovered the truth. The sign now read 1, not 0. The boy had been right. The stairs were a trick. The man would remain trapped forever. The story shifted back to Mitaya, who soon encountered the boy wandering alone. Realizing the man was gone, Mitaya understood what had happened. The sight pained him, but he chose to stay with the boy. Quickly, he discovered the child's sharp mind. Unlike him, the boy had an extraordinary eye for detail, able to catch even the smallest abnormality. Relying on the child's instincts, the two advanced quickly. They passed the first level, then the second. While searching for the third, the maze turned sinister. Lights flickered violently. The air filled with the sound of children crying and rats chattering in unnatural voices. When Mitaya shone his phone's torch, he froze. The suited man stood before him in a twisted pose. Fear surged, and he dragged the child backward. The board confirmed they had cleared another level. The nightmare had only been a test. Next, a woman appeared before them. Mitaya recognized the trap. He knew this was another abnormality, and they had to retreat. But the boy grew emotional, reaching out as though drawn to her. Mitaya scooped him up and ran back, clearing another level. Yet victory felt hollow. The boy's longing for his mother gnawed at Mitaya. Holding the child's small hand tightly, he silently vowed to reunite him with his mother, no matter what. Their journey continued. This time, nothing seemed wrong at all. The maze appeared unchanged. But the boy's sharp eyes caught a subtle detail. The exit 8 sign above them had its number written upside down, an almost invisible abnormality. Mitaya trusted him, and together they turned back, advancing to level 6. Only 2 remained. Mitaya's heart pounded with hope. Soon, he believed, this nightmare would end. But fate was cruel. As they walked, a sudden flood of water burst through the corridor, sweeping everything in its path. Mitaya grabbed the boy, but the child slipped into the torrent. Mitaya could have run. Instead, he dived into the water, refusing to abandon him. Underwater, his world shifted. Strange visions overtook him. He found himself by the beach, laughing, playing with friends, and beside him was a boy not as a stranger, but as his son. For the first time, Mitaya felt the true warmth of fatherhood. It was not a burden, but a beautiful gift. Before he could linger in the vision, Sharp pain tore through him. Reality returned. He and the child were still drowning. Summoning every ounce of strength, Mitaya lifted the boy above the surface. He hoisted him onto the exit 8 board, saving him while his own body was carried away by the current. When the boy awoke later, he found himself in ruins. Around him lay the wreckage of the maze, yet the rules still held. He turned, and the exit board revealed the number 7. They had advanced again. But Mitaya was gone. Now, only the boy remained to finish the game. Meanwhile, Mitaya too had been transported. He found himself at the final stage, level 8. Ahead, a staircase stretched upward, and people were calmly walking on it. He hesitated, unsure if this was freedom or another trap. His phone buzzed with real signal for the first time. Trembling, he called his friend. When the call connected, Mitaya finally spoke the words he had long avoided. He was ready to accept responsibility. He was ready to be a father. With new determination, he boarded the metro. Relief flooded him. At last, he believed he had escaped. But as the train rolled forward, unease crept in. Everything looked familiar, too familiar. The same passengers, the same air, the same scene he had once imagined. A child began to cry, and the man scolded the mother harshly. It was the exact memory that had haunted him before. Mitaya scanned the passengers. They were lifeless, staring blankly into their phones. His heart sank. This wasn't the real world. He had made a mistake. He had missed the abnormality and failed to turn back. He had never cleared level 7. Once again, he was trapped inside the loop of the maze. And with that chilling revelation, the film ends leaving the haunting question unanswered. Was Mitaya truly free, or forever imprisoned inside the endless table? Thank you for watching.